I'm going to talk to you like we're right in the room together, and I'll paint clear pictures so you can see what the math means. First problem, which value of x makes the expression 2x plus 2 over x squared minus x undefined? Wait, what? Confusing, right? That's why we're breaking it all down before you get to class. Let's talk about what this kind of expression even is. It's a fraction. A fraction has a top and a bottom. The top is called the numerator. That tells us what we have. The bottom is called the denominator. That tells us how many equal groups we're sharing across, like how many slots there are. Imagine you're about to order a pizza, right? And you're going to share it with friends. Suppose we cut the pizza into 8 equal pieces. That means 8 equal pieces make up the entire pizza. We put that 8 at the bottom, and we call it the denominator because it's naming or denominating the size of the pieces that make the whole. Now, how many friends do we have? Let's say we have 3 friends, and we want to give each friend 2 slices. That how many slices we're talking about right now goes on top. So if we're talking about 2 slices for one friend, that 2 goes on top and is called the numerator. If we talk about the whole group, say we give 2 slices to each of the 3 friends, then we're talking about 6 slices out of the 8 total, so that's 6 over 8, 8. That fraction literally reads 6 slices out of 8 total slices. If we want to know how many slices are left over, we just subtract. 8 total minus 6 given out equals 2 slices left. That's it. In a simple little equation, you'd say leftover equals total minus given, or 2 equals 8 minus 6. All of that is just a picture of what a fraction does. Top talks about the amount we have in focus. Bottom tells us how the whole is divided. Now here's the important rule that links to our problem. If the denominator were 0 slices, that's like saying we didn't order a pizza at all. No slices exist. You can't share what isn't there. There's no fair way to divide among friends if total slices equals 0. In math, we say the expression is undefined whenever the denominator is 0. So back to our expression, 2x plus 2 over x squared minus x. To find when it's undefined, we ignore the top and focus on the bottom. Since this is equal to a 0 in terms of pizza, you can understand simply that there is no pizza or 0 pizza. We can ask that question. In other words, we can ask, for which x does x squared minus x equal 0? Think of x squared minus x like all the ingredients in 2 pizzas. However, one ingredient is a secret. The secret ingredient is in a box. How can you know what the ingredient is? Well, if they know all the ingredients, let's say flour, cheese, pineapples, spices, and the secret ingredient they put in the box, and you know they both use secret ingredient, let's say X, then all we have to do is remove both boxes to see what's left behind. That will tell us what the secret ingredient is. In math, when we do this, we say we factor, which just means pull out the common ingredient. Both terms have an X in them. Pull it out and see what's left. Flour, cheese, and pineapple, right? So what's left? The only thing left now from the list is spices. That means we used X as placeholder for spices, but by pulling it out and seeing what was left, we figured out what was missing. And so we do the same for numbers by following a similar procedures. X squared minus X really means X times X, however many X's are there. In this case, how many X's do you see here? Only one X. So let's put a 1 there so we know it's only 1. Now let's do what we did with the pizza, pull the common elements. So we will pull the X's. 1x times x is 1x, so we are on the right track. So now if we have x squared, we have 2 x's there, and if we have 1x, that's just 1. If we do like we did with the pizza and remove both x's, what would we have? Just 1x left minus 1. So now take a step back and look at this as is. We're looking at the little equation x minus 1 equals 0. That sentence is really asking, what number, if I take away 1, lands me at 0? What would you take away from 1 to get 0? If you said you have to take 1 from 1 to get 0, you're correct. If you have one pizza and you take it away, you're left with 0 pizza. The answer is 1 because 1 minus 1 equals 0. That means that this x must be 1 since it's what we are taking away to equal 0.0. Let me tie x to the pizza picture one more time. Sometimes we don't know how many friends are coming yet. Instead of writing 3 friends, we use a placeholder, an x, to stand in for however many friends show up. Later, when we find out the actual number, we plug it in. That's all a variable is. A blank you can fill when you know the number. But if filling the blank makes the denominator 0, like planning slices for a party when you actually ordered 0 pizzas, that plan just doesn't make sense. Undefined. Second problem, which of the following is equivalent to negative 693 times negative 8? Here the big idea is what the sign, positive or negative, actually means. Think money. Positive is like having money. Negative is like owing money. What if you borrow $10 from me? You owe 10. What if you borrowed another 10? Now you owe 20. If you borrowed 8 times, you would now owe me 80. Now imagine someone removes your debt 8 times in a row. In other words, they take away, pay attention to the word take away, your debt. So here I will take away 10 first, or remove your debt of 10. How much do you now owe? $70, right? So that means removing a negative is actually good news. 2 negatives make a positive. If we continue taking away debts, we eventually get to a 0. You don't want to have 0 in your account, I know, but I'm sure you prefer that than owing 80. Or picture a number line on the sidewalk. Facing left is negative. If I spin around once from facing right to facing left,
Hi!
I reverse direction, negative. Spin around a second time, I've reversed the reverse and I'm facing right again, positive. That's negative times negative equals positive. This is why negative 693 times negative 8 will be positive. Now let's multiply the sizes. You can do it a couple of easy ways. One way, 700 times 8 is 5,600, but we added an extra 7 when we rounded up to 700, so we subtract 7 times 8, which is 56. 5,600 minus 56 equals 5,544. Another way, if you like breaking it apart, 600 times 8 is 4,800, 90 times 8 is 720, and 3 times 8 is 24. Add them. 4,800 plus 720 is 5,520, plus 24 is 5,544. Either way, same size, because negative times negative is positive. The final answer is positive 5,544. Let me give you 2 quick mini pictures so this sticks. First, temperature, dropping 8 degrees is negative. If I undo that drop 8 times, like I reverse 8 little cold snaps, that's a warm-up overall, so positive. Second, sports, a penalty is negative yards. If the ref says, my bad, take back the penalty, you've removed a negative. You gained yards. Double negative, positive result. Okay, deep breath. You just learned 2 powerful ideas you will use all year. 1, fractions stop working when the denominator is 0. Find the x values that make that happen. 2, when multiplying, same signs make a positive result. Different signs make a negative result. Your turn to practice. Use the exact thinking we used together. Try this first one about denominators. Which value of x makes the expression 3x minus 9 over x squared minus 4x undefined? Hint, factor the bottom like we did. Pull out the common x, then see which values make it 0. And one with signs. Evaluate. Negative 472 times the negative 6. Say the sign out loud first, then multiply the sizes the easy way that works for you. Once you have figured out the answer to both questions, put your answers in the comment section. Let's discuss and review. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.